Send him a big old cake too.
Mileage went up to 0.76, huh?
What did?
Mileage
Did it?
went up to 0.76. Is that what it went to?
That's what they were, that's proposed, so.
No, I think it's
Oh,
through. I think
okay.
I was notified by
Oh,
my other job,
nice.
so I'm punching it in.
Heck, yeah.
IRS standard rate.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready. You ready? Good morning, everyone. The time's 8:45 a.m. And this is the time when we have public comment. And today we have someone who'd like to come up named Steve Burschite. If you could come up and give your address and talk about the topic you'd like to share with us, please, and thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Burschite. I'm actually here on behalf of my mother, Doreen Burschite, as her power of attorney. My address is 26830 County Road 6, Gray Eagle. The question I have is about the, if I filled out paperwork for abatement on change on her property tax classification. Was mistakenly changed to non-homestead 2 years ago when asked for a change of address, just had it mailed to my address for taking care of her finances for her. In the process, it got mistakenly reclassified as non-homestead. They thought she was moving also, which wasn't the case. Filled that abatement out yesterday, so that won't come before you guys till the next meeting. Just curious if I need to be here for that meeting, or if you have any questions.
It's public comment, so we really don't.
You guys don't really
We
respond.
can't really
Okay.
respond with an answer to you. I'm sorry.
You would have to ask.
Well, we
Well, and if
spoke,
anyone could just let me know if I need to be present at the next hearing for that abatement.
just to inform you, he did contact Chris. I have spoke with Chris, the assessor. Chris has the abatement forms. Chris knows he's bringing it on the 18th. And then after that board meeting, when you approve it, I informed Steve here that I would be processing the abatement. He will get a corrected tax statement. That way, in regards to filing the Minnesota property tax refund, he can move forward on behalf of his mom. Just to fill you in on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Burschite.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Did he need to attend the next meeting is what he's asking? Does he need to come to the 18th meeting on,
Okay,
yes or
2
no?
weeks from today.
Yes.
Yeah,
Should he come is what he's asking?
that's up to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna-
if you guys are gonna have any questions, or if it's just kind of
Yeah.
cut and dry thing, or.
Usually the department head Chris will probably be the most in contact with you, so.
Okay.
If you got other stuff going on, I would do that, but your
Okay.
call.
Thank you.
Yep. you're
Thank you.
welcome. Everybody ready?
Yep.
All right. Good morning again, everyone. It is 9 a.m., Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, and we're going to have our Board of Commissioners regular board meeting. Present today are all 5 commissioners as well as County Auditor Treasurer and our County Coordinator. Just to remind everyone, we are doing a business, so if you have cell phones, try to put them on silence, and we'll go from there. So at this point, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. At this point, I'd like to ask, are there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the amendment today to the agenda would be to remove 8.1 from the planning and zoning.
Okay. Seeing 8.1 is removed, is that the only amendment then?
Yes, that is.
Okay. Commissioners, we're going to remove 8.1. At this point, I'd like to get a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
And we have a second available?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have an agenda for the day. Next up on the agenda is number 4, potential consent items.
Today we have the meeting minute approval for July 21st, 2026. Accept the resignation of Bo Herzog, 8/10/2026. Accept the resignation of Investigator Travis Winter, 8/2/2026. Accept the resignation of Megan Savage, Administrative Assistant, 7/31/2026. Hire Abby Piercy, part-time correctional officer, start date to be determined. And we have a gambling permit for Ivy's Legacy Foundation event to happen October 30th, 2026.
Okay, very well. Consent items have been voiced, although I'll need a motion to approve.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I could. I had asked Lisa about exit interviews. All 4 of our resignations, I believe, are from the sheriff's office. And she informed me that they are doing the exit interview and that they could check on the bottom of the interview if we as commissioners could see the reason why they were leaving. So just a comment.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing no other discussion, we'll take a vote. Those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion has been carried. Agenda item 5 would be our second quarter service awards for Todd County employees.
All right, commissioners, and it looks like our honorees, we don't have everyone here this morning, but we at least have one of our honorees, so we're really excited about that. We want to recognize our Todd County Second Quarter Service Award recipients and celebrate their dedication, experience, and commitment they've given Todd County and the people that they serve. At this time, you know, they're reflecting years of knowledge, teamwork, professionalism, and dedication, and they've made a meaningful contribution to their department. So although they may not be in attendance, we do want to recognize the years of service that they have given. First of all, we'd like to recognize Thomas Zastro for 30 years of dedicated service to Todd County. That is a huge milestone and very appreciated. And then we have a number of employees who are celebrating 10 years of service. Jacob Wisher, 10 years of service. Joshua Nice, 10 years of service. Callie Pesta, 10 years of service, and Jessica Barroso Pantoya, 10 years of service. And then in attendance this morning, we would also like to recognize Patricia Lloyd for her 10 years of service. So Patricia, Patty, if you'd like to come up. Thank you. And we want to say congratulations to all of our employees on reaching these important milestones. You've contributed time, talent, and dedication to the Todd County residents and also supporting the work of your department and fellow employees. So on behalf of the Todd County Board of Commissioners, administration, and all of Todd County, thank you for your commitment, your service, and the important work that you do each and every day. So everyone, if you could join me in celebrating our employees and recognizing our second quarter Todd County Service Award recipients. All right, congratulations. And Trinity's going to take a picture up at the front, if we can take a moment with the commissioners. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've never had,
Oh, you
of
did?
all the years, I never remember it
No,
ever
I've never
ringing.
heard it ring.
I'd imagine, obviously Lauren doesn't want to, but.
Did we figure the phone out?
You know,
Yeah.
some of these guys are in our public works, they're out.
I hope that wasn't me.
They're working.
They're not gonna
That
come in here,
wasn't my ringer, so.
not just upstairs or downstairs. you know.
Okay, a lot of milestones there, thank you, Todd County employees. Next up would be agenda item 6, and County Auditor Treasurer with warrants.
Today, I'm presenting the auditor warrants for July 2026. Background is sent for your review. Recommendation is to approve the July 2026 auditor warrants with an ACH and a manual payment totaling in the amount of $4,069,247.53.
Okay, 6.1, auditor warrants, and the amount showed on the board action form. We would need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion, now I would need a second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you so much. Any discussion on auditor warrants? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Denny?
Yes.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Nasca?
Yes.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
Moving right along, we have the commissioner warrants today. Background is the Todd County Commissioners approved the following by motion: to approve the commissioners' warrants with an ACH and a manual payment totaling the amount of $260,656.75. That's a tongue twister.
Thank you. 6.2 Commissioner warrants in the amount on the board action form, $260,656.75. Do I have a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
We now have a motion and a second. Would I entertain some discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, roll call again, please.
Commissioner Nasca?
Yes.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Denny?
Yes.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
The next item we have then is the Health and Human Service Commissioner warrants. Background is sent for your review. Recommendation is to approve the Health and Human Service Commissioner warrants with an ACH and a manual payment totaling the amount of $219,551.44.
6.3 today is Health and Human Services Commissioner warrants, the amount on the board action form, $219,551.44. Could I get a motion to approve this one, please?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Denny seconds. Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call, please.
Commissioner Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Denny?
Yes.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Nasca?
Yes.
Commissioner Byers?
Yes.
And the next item we'd have would be the Health and Human Service SSIS warrants. Background is sent for review. Recommendation is to approve the Health and Human Service SSIS warrants with an ACH payment and a regular payment in the amount of $78,113.97.
Okay, 6.4 today is Health and Human Services SSIS warrants. And the amount on the board action form, $78,113 $0.97. I'll take a motion to approve, please.
I'll motion to approve it.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Becker gets a second, and discussion. Hearing no discussion, roll call one more time.
Commissioner Noska,
Yes.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Denny,
Yes.
Commissioner Newman,
Yes.
Commissioner Byers.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is to transfer funds county ditch inspector hours. Background, the assessment cycle for the county ditch expenses closes annually on June 30th. The tracked hours of the ditch inspector's work on specific ditches is accumulated and requires transfer as an expense to each district's ditch system on an annual basis to align with accounting standards per the county board's past practice and resolution. The recommendation is to approve the attached resolution to transfer $5,573.75 from Fund 40 County Ditch Fund to Fund 1 General Revenue Fund, County Ditch Inspectors Department, which is the time the ditch inspector worked on county ditches per the attached list. And this is a budgeted item.
Okay, 6.5, transfer of funds in the amount shown in the board action form. And we need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Commissioner Newman gets the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Commissioner Denny. Any discussion, commissioners? Hearing no discussion, we take a voice vote on this one?
No,
Just a
Oh,
simple,
just a
yeah,
voice, I'm
simple
sorry.
voice vote, right? Yep.
yes,
Okay.
no roll call.
All in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion has been carried. Okay, thank you. We're on to agenda item number 7 today, which is the County Ditch and Ag Inspector. Has a couple items to discuss. Good morning.
Morning, Nancy.
Good morning. 2 agenda items. The first one is just to acknowledge receipt of the County Ditch 33 hold harmless agreement for ditch maintenance. The background, the attachments, the 2 hold harmless agreements, an aerial photo are attached. Recommendation, the Todd County Board of Commissioners approves the following by motion. Acting as the Todd County Ditch Authority, acknowledge receipt of a hold harmless agreement application from Wally and Lori Miller and Triple M Dairy Inc. to clean a portion of County Ditch 33 in Section 29 of Reynolds Township.
Okay, we have any illustrations on this one, or? There we go. Commissioners, 7-1, I'd like to acknowledge, receive the hold harmless agreement. Need a motion to do that.
Yep, I'll make the motion to approve.
Commissioner Denny gets the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Noska gets the second. Any discussion? Okay, no discussion. Take a voice vote. All in favor can signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That one is carried. Thank you.
Okay, next one is County Ditch 11 hold harmless agreement for ditch maintenance and to install a private crossing. Background sent for your review. The options are to approve the hold harmless agreement or do not approve the hold harmless agreement. The recommendation, the Todd County Board of Commissioners approves the following by motion. Acting as the Todd County Ditch Authority approves a hold harmless agreement application from David and Edna Bontrager to clean approximately 3,906 feet of the main ditch and to replace a private crossing on County Ditch 11 on parcel 26,000,670 in Section 7, Ward Township. This project will be done on their own property at their own expense.
Okay, 7.2 is another hold harmless agreement. And we need a motion to approve this one. Thank you. Bringing up the illustrations.
I'll motion to approve it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
It's
it's just.
really grown
It's very
over.
grown in, yep, yeah, I couldn't even find the ditch. So this ditch system has not been touched for eons, so. And then on the, can you just go back up to that picture there? So you can see the crossing there, that's a failing crossing that will be removed. And it'll be moved down closer to the south property line, and it's a 36-inch culvert on the road. So they're gonna have to match the hydraulic capacity of that 36-inch culvert. So they can have one 36 or 2 24s or whatever will match that capacity.
Yeah.
It looks like a better location for the crossing anyway.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said at least then he could come off the
Not
township
quite
road
as
instead
wet,
of.
yeah, right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's great that they're willing to do this. Thank you so much. We will need to take a vote. We'll do a voice vote. Those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion has been carried.
Great, thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Nancy.
Once again, we are going to move on from 8.1 that was struck, removed. We're going to go on to number 9, agenda item 9. The first item of business is to approve the public health job, nurse job description revision.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. A couple
Good
board
morning.
action forms here to present in front of you. The first one being to approve the public health nurse job description revision. Some background, the public health nurse job description has been revised to change the minimum qualifications in order to recruit more candidates. This job description revision was discussed at Personnel on July 13th and the Todd County Work Session on July 21st. It's your options to approve the public health nurse job description revision or to not approve. It's our recommendation you approve the public health nurse job description.
Thank you, Commissioners. This revision of the job description would need a motion to approve. Is there one out there?
Could I ask a question?
Oh,
Okay.
Have at it.
Jackie, most of it has to do with the education part of this job description. Is there any difference in pay grade at all? I see that the pay grade was not changed. That remains the same.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Good question, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion, or I'll entertain a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve the revision of the job.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We got a second out there? I'll call for discussion one last time. I'm hearing no discussion. Let's take a voice vote on this one. All those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And motion's carried.
Thank you.
Let's get us in public health.
All right, and second board action form is to approve the federal fiscal year 2027 low-income home energy assistance program grant contract and internal controls. Some background. The Todd County Health and Human Services will administer and deliver the energy assistance program to Todd County residents with federal fiscal year 2027 beginning October 1st, 2026. The Office of Legislative Auditor requires the Minnesota Department of Commerce to ensure service providers maintain an effective internal control system and appropriate management of public funds. The internal controls documentation helps meet the requirements by documenting specific aspects of a service provider's internal controls. The ICD is organized in accordance with the United States Government Accountability's Office Standards for Internal Control in Federal Government. Your options are to approve the federal fiscal year 2027 low-income home energy assistance program grant contract and internal controls, or to not approve. It's our recommendation you approve the 2027 low-income home energy assistance program contract and internal controls documentation. As you see, the financial implications, the energy assistance program for 2025, not this year, last year, there was a county levy of used of $23,852. This year, we are well under that.
Okay. Agenda item 9.2 would be Jackie's discussion about the program grant contract and internal controls, which obviously we got to follow, so. Let's talk about it or get a motion on the table.
I'll make a motion for
Okay.
approval. And after reading and going through it last night, the information that you give out is unbelievable, and the amount of information you have to give out was a lot. And we had discussion this morning already as when Bob became a board member, because you had to list each board member in the year they came in, so it was very interesting, a lot of reading.
It's a heavily controlled system, and the staff here do a great job. I know the previous year there was some levy dollars that were utilized towards it, but this year, I don't know, if there is a cost, it's gonna be very small. We are looking at under $5,000, if any.
Okay, yeah, and it's nice to keep it in-house, too.
Local control.
Local control.
Okay, that's good good comment. Do we have we need a motion yet?
I did the motion.
You did you did,
Yes, I
yeah,
did.
plus the comment, thank you.
Plus my comment.
Yeah,
I'll second it.
keep it simple for Bob up here. We got a motion and a second, and now I'd ask for any final discussion. Hearing no final discussion, we'll take a voice vote. Those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We've got a motion carried.
Perfect, thank you.
And today we are now, for those listening at home, we are on agenda item number 10, administration. And our county coordinator will address us.
Okay, comes up on the yearly calendar of events for the commissioners. This is the 2027 non-union and appointed officials' salaries is our topic. The background is the Todd County Board of Commissioners desire to set salaries for appointed positions and employees that are not covered by a collective bargaining agreement. The wage recommendation on the attached resolution have been reviewed by the Personnel Committee. The options you have are to approve the attached resolution setting the 2027 non-union and appointed official salaries, or to not approve. If we can pull up the resolution. And I'll just quickly read it. Whereas the Todd County Board of Commissioners are responsible for setting the compensation of county employees and appointed officials, and whereas the Todd County Board of Commissioners desire to follow the same pattern, bargain with unions for the non-union, regular full-time employees and appointed officials, and whereas a 3% general wage increase will take effect on the first day of the first full pay period in January of 2027, which will be applicable to all regular full-time employees whose salaries do not exceed the maximum of the salary schedule. Now therefore be it resolved that the Todd County Board of Commissioners authorize that a 3% general wage increase will take effect on the first day of the first full period in January 2027, applicable to all regular full-time employees whose salaries do not exceed the maximum of the salary schedule. So again, your options would be to approve or to not approve adopting the 2027 non-union employees and appointed officials salary resolution. Recommendation would be to approve.
Okay, thank you very much. 10.1, the 2027 salary is set for non-union and appointed officials. I would need a motion to approve, and I would also open it to discussion.
I'll motion to approve.
We do have a motion now. We need a second.
I'll second.
And we have a second. Thank you very much, Commissioners. Now I'm going to ask for final discussion.
Union contract.
Just a question, if I could. Did we not a few years back set that was going to take place in July instead of January? Was that changed?
This is for COLA, correct?
This is for
The step
COLA.
is in July.
Okay, the step is July, this
Right,
is
if they're
COLA.
still on the
Thank you
scale,
for
it would-
the-
If they're still on the scale.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Any further discussion items, questions? I'm hearing no further discussion. At this time, we can take a voice vote. All those in favor can signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. 10.2, org chart update, Public Works.
All right, the background here is we are requesting approval to update the Public Works organizational chart to reflect the removal of the ag ditch inspector position from the Public Works Department organizational structure and establish it as a separate department, ditch ag inspector. This request was presented during the July 7th, 2026 work session, and it was also recommended for approval by the Personnel Committee. Creating a separate ditch and ag inspector department was the county's original intent in 2017. I found this out through discussions with the Public Works department head Lauren Feldbaum and also the ditch and ag inspector Nancy Eulenkamp. However, in 2017, from looking back, the organizational chart was never updated to reflect that change. That was also the time where I believe Nancy's position was moved out to the Public Works shop here in Long Prairie. That will not change. Her position, her role will still be housed there. This would be to just update the organizational chart that should have happened back in 2017. So the options would be to approve the requested organizational chart change or to not approve. And the recommendation would be to approve it.
Thank you. The org chart update for Public Works and ditch inspector, the recommendation is to approve this. I would need a motion to do that or discussion.
A discussion, please.
Yes, please.
Just one thing, we're almost 10 years later than it was intended to be. I get it. But so this was never done back then when it was intended to be done? So it was just some verbal agreement that it's not in Public Works and?
From what we can tell, there was a lot of moving around before that of this position. It was moved around from a couple different departments. It was also moved out of being housed, I believe, down in the planning and zoning originally. And then when the move happened to bring that position out to Public Works, then it was meant to go to a separate department, but for whatever reason, it was put under Public Works.
Right.
And they brought forth the request to
Right.
put it back as a separate department.
And I'm absolutely fine with that, getting it right finally, but, so basically the position was just passed around without any formal documentation at all, just like shuffled around. Somebody should have been watching this back then.
Well,
Oh my
it was,
God.
if I may, Mr. Chair, it was in the Auditor Treasurer's Office because we are charged with the duty of holding the ditch inspectors' records, and then she was then relocated to Planning and Zoning. The only reason she was moved out to Public Works is because a husband and wife can't work in the same department, and her husband worked downstairs with her side
So
by side.
technically, the paperwork says that she should be up in Planning and Zoning right now? Technically?
If,
I mean, that's what I'm asking, is there's
Yeah.
gotta be some paper trail of where she was just pushed around or her position was just pushed around and not actually, I mean, there should have been something that,
I would think that would be
you can't
held
just
in
move
the,
somebody underneath
Right.
different departments without.
the notations should have been in the previous coordinator, previous
Right, well, that's what I'm
administrator.
wondering, was, I mean, somebody's gotta keep track of that stuff, but either way,
Right.
I'll motion to approve.
Okay.
Okay, a decade later, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second out there?
I'll second it.
We got a second. And Alice, for any last discussion on this move?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Jackie, I'd asked at the work session if you had any information how Douglas County does it.
That's right.
Because the ditch inspector is in the facility of Public Works in Douglas County.
Yes.
And that's, I think, a lot of the reason, when we created the ditch inspector back in the day, we had Douglas County's ditch inspector help train Nancy as far as becoming our ditch inspector.
Okay.
So a lot of that, I think, reflects back to Douglas County as their ditch inspector is located within
that's-
Public Works. That way they have access to any of the equipment that is needed. So I think that's the reason, Lou, why she is out in Public Works.
Understandable, I just think there should have been some documentation saying that she's there or she's
So-
here, who's the supervisor, what's the chain of
And
command there?
I thought the board had put that in writing to move Nancy out.
All we could find was the org chart movement, and then when I talked to them, they mentioned that they thought at that time, then the thought was to put in a separate department. So I'm getting, it's, the documentation track isn't there, but the org chart movement is there. So, and you're right, Commissioner Newman, Douglas is still, it's that way, so you're correct. I did ask her, Nancy, about using equipment, and she does use a bit, but mainly she has her own pickup, I guess, and her own equipment. I'm not sure if she's here anymore. No, she's not. So, but you're right, that's the way Douglas County is. I did reach out to them and verified that. So that would make sense as to why she was put out at that main shop, because it's similar to Douglas. So, but.
That explains a lot of it, so.
Mr. Chair, if I could, for clarification, will she become a department head then?
No, she won't be a department head, much like our emergency management director, who has his own department as well. She doesn't supervise any employees under her, so technically this won't make a department head necessarily.
Who will she be reporting to then?
I believe it'll be me that will probably sign off on her timesheet, just because she has to be, she answers to the commissioners, but for the day-to-day, like approving her timesheet, that'll fall on my shoulders.
Or vacation or
Right.
so forth?
Those will come through, pass through my purview.
Okay, we'll ask for any last comments or discussion. Good discussion. All right, I'm hearing none. I'll take a voice vote then. All in favor of this move signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. Agenda item 10.3 would be next.
You're good. Two more down. There we go. All right. The agenda title here is an approval of Gallagher's recommendation to reclassify the Human Resources Assistant position from a grade 4D to a grade 5E. So at the recommendation of the Personnel Committee, the Human Resources Assistant job description was submitted to Gallagher for a classification review. And this was after a number of Personnel Committee discussions where we've seen that position morph into a lot more of the taking on the recruitment piece of the duties in the administration office, and as well as backup for our payroll and benefits position. And so on the recommendation of personnel, we did send in the position description to see if it would come back with a change. Following the evaluation, Gallagher did recommend reclassifying the position from a grade 4D to a grade 5E, so one grade up. And this is based on the expanded duties and responsibilities assigned to the position, particularly in the areas of payroll and human resources. So your options would be to approve the reclassification of the HR position from 4D to 5E, or to not approve the reclassification. And our recommendation would be to approve that.
Thank you. Commissioners, our 10.3, the Human Resource Assistant position, recommendation to reclassify. Need a motion to approve that.
I'll motion to approve it.
Thank you, Commissioner Noska. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I've got a second. Commissioner Denny, any discussion?
Just a little
Yes,
here.
go for it.
And I don't disagree with this at all. I feel probably the workload and the caliber of work is warranted to raise that. It would just been nice if, switching to Paycom, we could have taken some of that load off of some of our administration, not having us actually have to raise people up, but taking the load off would have been nice. Saving us money, not necessarily creating more for us, but hey, here we are.
I would say, Commissioner Noska, one of the things that we've seen, though, with the advent of Paycom is that I would see down the road that that position, along with the payroll and benefits, as well as the human resources position, we are looking to take on and do more in administration. I feel like we haven't been able to do as much reach out. We haven't been able to work with our schools as much in our communities. I think we could do a lot more, and our time we're seeing it being freed up through efficiency to do more with recruitment, to do more with outreach in hiring great candidates with Todd County, getting out and getting the word out on our positions. So I think that although yes, I can see what your point is, I think you're going to see down the road there's going to be more duties being taken on by the positions in administration, and especially in recruitment and human resources. I really do.
That sounds great. I'd like to see that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, hi, come on.
what's the financial implications of this jump?
It's, from what I recall, it's a little over $1 an hour uptick for her hourly. It's going to go up just a little bit over $1 per hour from going from the 4D to the 5E grade step. I might add, the 4D level is one of the lowest grades in our county pay scale. And we just felt that with the role that she takes on, the information that she handles, the things that she works with, that it's warranted to be higher than, the lowest grades that we see in the county. We believe that position should be higher, just because of the highly sensitive nature she handles. She pretty much touches every single employee payroll information in Todd County. So,
Mr. Chair, so when we got out of CPT, Counties Providing Technology, which we are an owner of, okay, and went with Paycom was supposed to save us a ton of money. Is that true, or is it costing us more than what it did with CPT?
so we're still untangling, I guess the word is untangling ourselves from CPT. We have a contract in place through the end of 2026. At that point, we'll be completely ended on not with CPT completely, but with our payroll and human resources module. I would argue that once we're able to untangle from there, along with the additional duties that we can take on, I feel we will save money in time and efficiency. Right now, we have our employees are able to do many duties themselves by logging into their Paycom account. They're able to change withholding. They'll be able to apply for their benefits for 2027. Those things used to be, you'd have to reach out to one of the four of us in the administration office to do that. We'd have to do forms. We would have to then enter data. All of that has been now eliminated. And as we get up to speed on Paycom, the four of us in our office, you're seeing the savings, I believe, in time and efficiency. I can sure come back and show some of the additional duties and things that we've been able to take on. So although financially the numbers might not look like a savings, I think they will reflect that, the stronger and faster that we get in the system. And then we will be able to untangle from CPT by the end of this year.
And I apologize, Mr. Chair, we kind of went off the sidetrack there.
No, that's a really good question, Commissioner Newman.
Here, boys, yeah. If you got a question, answer. If you have a question, ask it now. Okay. Any other discussion?
One last comment, and in no way am I saying that this isn't well-deserved. I think that she's got plenty of workload on her plate. I just, they maybe should have, Gallagher could have got that right in the first place, would have been okay.
I would agree. Commissioner Noska?
That's all. No, I'm still supportive of it, yes.
Well, we have a motion and a second. We take a voice vote? Let's take a voice vote. All those in favor can signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
And At this time, we are going to move to standing reports. We'll start with County Auditor Treasurer Report.
Currently in my office, we're prepping for the preliminary election, which is next week, August 11th. We are open this Saturday for absentee voting from 9 to 3. Election in-person training has been completed. Yesterday was our last day for head election judge training. If anybody wants to know where to vote or what's on their ballot, they can visit the website mnvotes.gov. And just so the county knows, county program aid was released, and again, it has been reduced this year. We are receiving less, $72,394, and last year's reduction was $69,665. So that's where we're at.
Thank you. County Coordinator Report, please.
We held 2 employee safety training days, which are required for all of our employees to attend. So those were held over the last 2 weeks. We also had our very own Sheriff Allen put on a customer service and counter safety training, which was very well attended, 3 different sessions that he put on, plus we recorded it and sent it out through Paycom for our employees to view. I attended a Revive and Thrive childcare meeting, a personnel meeting, and then a meeting with Paycom.
Thank you so much. And Commissioners Report. Randy, you want to start, please?
I'll do that. On the 21st, attended the Sauk River Watershed meeting. Our Long Lake project down there is moving forward. Hopefully they can get that resolved yet by this fall. On the 22nd, did a Zoom meeting with Central Minnesota Council on Aging with the director's evaluation, and Lori did pass that. And Lori, I guess, will be attending our August 16th meeting, is what she told me. So on Monday, the 27th, I attended the CPT meeting. The board voted as the 25-member county board. The board discussed Todd County's portion of the $800 and some that we are paying so we can get back in to do the deputy's evaluation. So they voted, was 23-2. Myself and Wilkin County voted against it because both our counties are doing Paycom. So anyways, that was quite interesting. And then on the 30th, I had a Central Minnesota Council on Aging board meeting, and so far everything's going fine there. So, and like I said, Lori will be here, I think, the 16th of August. So that's all I got. What, 18? Okay, great, thank you. Sorry about that.
Wonderful. Mr. Becker, you got any news for us?
Yes, on the 24th, we had a facility meeting here, and we also had a safety meeting. And then I attended the safety training on the 28th. My major meeting I went to this time was the Regional Emergency Management meeting in Stearns County. Part of it was informational, that they did a Staples Wadena train, a railment, and that was a training for them. Their major concern is funding again, and I think we've talked about this every time I come back from that meeting. We asked the EMS to come to the AMC meeting in Bemidji in September, and so we're hoping that they'll, legislatures and so forth will be there, that we can have this discussion. Basically, the federal money has not been approved for our regional. So Stearns County, who is a fiscal agent for it, has got a grant to help offset Marion's wage. So she'll work partial for Stearns County and partial for the region. So it will help with the wage. We also have to spend down our extra money because we cannot carry it over. So we asked our advisory board when, at their next meeting, to spend down the money that we have. As of right now, we will have money until 2028, July 1st. At that time, we are out of funds. So a lot needs to happen through the state and so forth to keep our regional EMS going
Okay.
without coming down to the counties and asking for funding, which has been noted in the past. But as of right now, we're going to go ahead where it is. So more to come on that.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, you're welcome. Commissioner Denny?
Yep, we just, we had our Prairie Lakes meeting over in Perm, more discussion on our ash reutilization methods, looking for more roads to use up some more ash. Had our Central Emergency Service Board meeting in St. Cloud, basically just information on that one. Personnel Committee meeting. I think that's all I have. And we had a little extra time in there from last meeting to this one, so yeah, that's all I have for now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Commissioner Noska?
Yes, I guess it was pretty much business as usual for me, just nothing out of the ordinary, other than I'd like to mention again, employee picnic, 11 a.m. on the 12th of this month. So make sure to get registered for your meal so we can account for you, and there's no unexpected meals missing for people that show up without
Bring the
registering.
meal again?
We've got Griff's, correct, Jackie?
Yes, Griff's will be providing 2 different types of sandwiches with sides and chips and beverages, and you should sign up for your time slot. It's every 30 minutes, and it'll be outside here on our top hill, as weather permitting, of course. And yes, we have good sign up already, and there might be prizes.
Might be prizes.
And I make this comment every year that taxpayers know this isn't taxpayers' dollars. It's through the Wellness Committee, and it's by our employees participating on being healthy and keeping themselves well.
Yes,
Yes.
And through grants from Sourcewell, correct?
Sourcewell is funding it for us, yes, through a grant.
Okay, great.
And on another note, I know this has been mentioned, but with our late TCDC, Todd County Development Corporation, Jim Luneman's passing, his celebration of life will be held at the Clarissa Ballroom on Sunday, August 23rd, 2026 at 3 p.m. So I'd just like to mention that, and another thank you to him for all his years of service, most recently as our chair. So he did a fantastic job, and he'll be missed by many.
Okay, thank you. Myself attended facilities with Barb last week. That was last week, right? Yeah, last week. And safety. Had a safety meeting, got that rolling. And personnel with Mr. Denny, and yep, that's kind of a slower week last week. So that being said, so for the standing reports, at this point we can go to recess. Need a motion or no? Let's get a motion to recess.
Motion.
Motion to recess. Is there a second?
Second.
We got a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're in recess. All right, everyone, welcome back. It is 9:55 a.m. again here, still same day, Tuesday, August 4th. And we're going to start our work session. We'll start off with agenda item 1, which is the Long Prairie Hockey Association lease discussion. And Jackie is here to lead it. Fire away.
All right. So we have 3 leases in Todd County that basically are set up so that there's an opportunity each year for the Board of Commissioners to provide input and ask questions. And we're coming up, the other 2 leases don't expire until the end of this year, December 31st. But our lease agreement with the Long Prairie Hockey Association runs a little bit differently, and it typically begins the 15th of September. And so in order for us to bring it before the board to adopt, I wanted to, work with the board through a work session. I also have invited or let our president of the Hockey Association, David Wright, know that we were going to be talking about this. He is in attendance in the audience, so if the board has questions, we can definitely have David come up. I wanted to talk to you about, first of all, just the terms of the agreement, get some feedback, get some input and direction so that I can get this prepared, make sure Attorney Lindeman reviews it, make sure the Hockey Association is aware of it before we bring it formally to a board agenda for adoption. So typically what we do is it's set up usually on a 3-year term, but it has a check-in each year. And typically all of our lease agreements, the three of them, have had a 2% increase each year built into the total cost of the lease payment. This year, I reached out to the Auditor Treasurer's Office to ask about the utility cost. Typically, if the utilities for the lease agreement and this is for the Expo building at the fairgrounds, if the utilities run over the lease amount, the Auditor Treasurer's Office does go ahead and inform the Hockey Association about that, and they pay the overage. So what this would do is if we increased it or if we kept it the same, whatever, we would continue that agreement that if the utilities exceed the total lease amount, then the Hockey Association still agrees to pay the additional costs. I talked about this at Finance, and they had a recommendation of maybe upping that 2%. So there, I'll stop talking.
Mr. Chair, Jackie, don't they pay from $1 for the utilities? But the way you track it, but they pay 100% for their utilities, right?
Yes.
Not just the overage.
No, they.
I mean, it doesn't come out of the lease agreement.
They pay the whole thing plus the overage.
Plus their lease
Yeah,
money.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's the way I thought it was, but, okay.
So what the amounts have been, just so you have an idea, for 2025, the total amount for the agreement came to $28,143.24. For 2026, it went up 2% to $28,706.10. So then for 2027, we don't have that amount determined yet. That's kind of what I want to get direction from the commissioners about. Do we continue that 2% increase? Do we go up to 3% as maybe the Finance Committee talked about? I guess, any kind of guidance here. I know the Hockey Association has asked about changing the start of the agreement to the first day of September instead of the 15th, maybe making the agreement longer than 3 years, or not having the 1-year check-in, all of those things. So this is kind of that opportunity to talk about all of that.
Thank you. Commissioners, they're asking about terms, percentage increase. utilities, these things. So I open it up for any discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll start off. During finance, we did discuss going up to 2.5% or 3%. We didn't land on a solid number there either way, but we're proposing that. That's great that the overages have always been paid. There's plenty of history of that. Appreciate them willing to do this agreement. That's nice income for that building. But also, is there a reason September 1st doesn't work for over the 15th, or does anybody have any objection to starting at September 1?
If I may, in the past, we would have like a Latino festival, or we'd have other people rent it in that first couple weeks. We had a bike tram come through, but in talking with Mitch, he hasn't had anybody inquire for those first 2 weeks of September. But that was the reason in the past.
Okay.
While I've been in this position, is there was a few entities that did use it the first week of September.
Okay.
I think especially over the Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to
Yep.
get some,
Nope.
figure out why we started the 15th.
I'd imagine they wanted to get through Labor Day, and maybe if there was anything going on during Labor Day, but, Mr. Wright, is there the 15th, is that like not ideal? The getting on the 1st would be, maybe you can comment on that.
One of the reasons that we'd look at the first is that it does take us time. We are all volunteers, putting up boards, putting up the nets, doing everything, so it takes time to do that. And we have to schedule out to get the ice painted, get the ice put in. And most facilities around the area, they start their fall seasons in September already. So we are hoping by the fact of getting the facility on the 1st, we could get ice in there about the 15th, and we could start getting on a little more level playing field with other communities that have ice the 1st of September, or most of them had all summer already, but their fall leagues start in September.
Thank you. Okay. Any other commissioners want to talk about terms or percentages, or, I mean, we can leave it up to the finance committee to make a recommendation, or love your input.
And we could always leave it, I mean, yeah, we love any input from finance committee from either way, but we can leave it as an open discussion when we put the board action form out there, and we can set it at that point, can't we?
I guess I've got a couple comments.
Go ahead, go.
Okay. I think at our facility meeting, Mitch brought in the cost of that humidifier, and that was $3,800. If we go ahead and do that, it sounded like it was going to get done, so we protect our building from mold. I guess, is hockey still considered a high school sport?
Yes, ma'am. It's a youth sport, but it's kind of like the youth wrestling where it's
Okay.
completely
Does-
youth, but then the high school does utilize that building as well.
Okay. Does the school itself put any money in to helping pay the lease or something?
They do not. It would be very helpful to the association if they did, but it is completely self-funded by the association.
And that's where I have part of a problem, because my tax dollar, my constituents' tax dollars are supporting a high school sport, and we don't support any other high school sports in the county. And so that's where I see that I think we need a lease agreement. I think that some money has to be put forward to it, so it's not costing our taxpayers' dollars.
I think that's what the lease is for, though, so it isn't costing taxpayers dollars, correct?
But are we even covering, we did rent-free for the extra 3 rooms? We're putting in humidifiers.
I would say those are just
that
included in the
we
agreement.
We wouldn't have to put in, if it wasn't for the hockey. We redid a door that needed to be done, believe me, because that heavy door we had to move every year, that wasn't on wheels or whatever that Mitch did. I think the county paid for that. That was strictly for hockey use. So, I mean, we do
But we are,
improve the building for hockey too.
right, but
so.
we are taking in a nice chunk of change from that one building though, too, for the county. On this lease term,
Well-
About 28 grand?
28
Yeah.
grand, and claiming.
I mean, we've been offered more than that from other people that weren't involved in the hockey, but we let the hockey have it because it was a youth organization. I'm just, because I know before we had asked the Long Prairie School to help with this.
Let me open this up. I think President Wright would like to ask something, please. Go ahead.
Yes, you had mentioned the dehumidifier thing. What I am actually, Ms. Bauer is going to put me on the building committee meeting on August 28th, but I was going to bring it then. I'll mention it now that there are grants out there. Mighty Ducks grant is one of them that I would like the association to apply for. We can't do it on our own because it's not our building. It would have to go through the county. But we could put that dehumidifier into that, and we have 4 compressors in that building, 2 of them which are the old Bonta building, Hart Press, when that used to be downtown here. So those are 50, 60-year-old compressors. We'd like to do that and put those on a grant as well. And that would also help with the electricity bill that the University of Minnesota graduate student came in and talked about as well.
Right.
But, yeah, and I'd also like to mention that this is my first year as president. I will be meeting with the school as well because they do utilize that building for other reasons that they have their kids come in and skate. And it is a cost to us. So I would like them to cover some of that as well. But that is going to be more on the taxpayers for the school to pay for it as well then, because that comes out of their levy as well, where this comes out of our lease agreement for the most part. So we do not want to put any burden on the taxpayers of Todd County by us leasing this building at all. We want it to be a fair and level playing field for everybody.
So traditionally, we've had a 3-year lease with a 2% escalator. The utilities, they pay above and over the overage. You can say it now, or you can probably get a hold of Jackie, or however you want to do it, commissioners, to give your suggestions. It's like, you know what, and the consensus is 2.5, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 3-year term. I know you'd like to have a longer term. The hockey, not you, the hockey associations like to have a longer term because it portrays stability in the program, I'm assuming, so that kids, hey, in 5 years, if I'm going to be a 8th grader and play hockey, I'm going to play here for 5 years, not 1 year.
That is correct. And we do hear that from some of the parents that we recruit coming in. Well, how long will hockey be here? Are you going to be able to continue to use this building? So obviously, we would really love to get a 10, 15-year lease, reviewing it every year or whatever that may be, but we're at your mercy for that.
Sure.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just to go over the finances again. This is why we had a lease agreement, and this is why we added the 1-year review, because the rent that the hockey pays now simply covers the utilities. The county is not gaining any revenues from this lease. When we analyze all the expenses, and I'm not trying to be a negative source to this because I'm not, I'm just saying that we analyze the finances of this, that's what we're seeing right now, is that the rent that they pay simply is covering utilities. It's not, the county's not gaining any revenue.
Well, I guess that was my first question. They don't pay utilities from the beginning on? They just pay?
No, we analyze them each month. We let Minnesota Power know
Okay.
when they're coming in, and then we follow it through the end of the season. And like we were saying, then we send you a bill, typically at the end of the season, saying this was the excess that you owe. And I'm just saying, though, that's why the lease was reviewed each year, because if the expenses continued to go up, the county was losing on the backside. So that's why it was reviewed annually.
And I think a 1-year annual review is fine. You're fine with that. If it was a longer term, you would still be okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're fine with an annual review. Obviously, we understand costs go up all the time. So that could be reviewed as long as we're just looking to have assurance that in 5, 6, 10 years, we would still be able to rent that building.
So, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Osakas just increased their activity fund. I think it was like $25 a student. I mean, so the schools are starting to raise
Activity fees?
the activity fees as far as if you're participating in football, track, whatever. My concern here is we used to do a 3-year contract, and we decided to go with a 1-year contract because commissioners change, hockey members change, you know, you're president now, you know, a year from now, we'll be dealing with somebody else. So everything changes. That's why we went with the 1-year contract. I agree with the 3%. I think that's something that we need to put on per year, because it does cost. I agree with Commissioner Becker. I supposedly have some individuals in the Osaka School District that play hockey. I don't know for sure. But, you know, I also have members in Sauk Center, residents that in my district that go to Sauk Center, and they play hockey in the arena down there. So the thing that's bothered me since I've been a commissioner on this whole deal, it's a county facility, okay, owned by Todd County, the whole county. I wish, and again, Barb brought that up too, with the school. School has no participation and never has, I don't think, in Long Prairie hockey, which for me is shocking, okay? They should at least have a stake in the game on this. So the city and the school hockey association need to look at this. I know Representative Wiener has brought it up many times. I am looking for bonding projects to help improve Todd County, Long Prairie. So I would jump all over that if Representative Wiener gets elected as senator, that he carries a bond to help build a facility in Long Prairie where you guys can play hockey all year round and we don't care.
Dave?
To answer a couple of your questions about Osakas playing hockey, they maybe do in Alexandria youth hockey. We have tried to recruit that area. Their school is not interested in doing any co-ops, so there is no path to the high school level. So that's why they don't get a lot of players, because they'd play up to the junior high level and that'd be done, because they will not co-op with Long Prairie. And we've tried a few times, but they don't want to do that. Well, Sauk Center, we are co-op with Sauk Center, so technically Sauk Center, we play in both rinks. So our kids play half in Long Prairie and half in Sauk Center.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's the North, no, not the North Star, what's the name of the team?
For the boys, they're called North Stars, and for the
North
girls,
Stars,
they're
yeah.
called Blue Devils.
Devils, yeah. It's not necessarily Long Prairie, it's
Prairie Center.
Prairie Center.
Correct. At the very youngest level, they are separate by towns, so they don't have to, parents don't have to travel.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna,
I got something for you here, Bob. I'd like to.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'd like to give a comment or two. So I understand, to me, having this as a hockey arena, since we don't have any other hockey arenas in Todd County right now, currently, I mean, I love to see these kids have these activities and these opportunities. I don't think we as a county need to be looking at making money on this. As long as we can break even, I'm happy with it. And if we want to have they want to have a longer contract for 5 years maybe to give a little bit more stability or structure to it for future, for recruiting, for things like that. I mean, I'm all for it. If it takes 3% every year, I mean, I don't know what the Hockey Association thinks of that, but if that's what it takes, maybe that is. But I'm okay with extending it to 5 years. It doesn't bother me any. I think that us supporting the community like that and offering things for these kids to do is our path to a better, I mean, a better cohesive community. You know, give these kids something to do rather than cause trouble. That's my idea. I think we should make it easier for them, not harder. I don't think it needs to cost more money. I don't want to price people out. I don't want to do any of that. So that's where I stand on it.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so I guess what I'm hearing is, should I bring forth a 5-year agreement with a one-year check-in at 3% increase and start it September 1st, or is there objection?
I don't know September 1st personally. I think the 15th right now.
September
Let's just take some steps here, you know. Everybody would love to eat the whole cake at once. I'm not sure that's the right solution right now with what you're hearing on both sides of whatever. Why don't you come up with you know, and then send it to everybody and get our input, okay? And then let David know too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 2 today is the Todd County Comprehensive Plan. Mr. Ossiford, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
I don't know why this keeps coming up. It's just every time. Hey, go for it, Adam.
No problem. Just following up from the previous work session, was asked to put this on again if there was any lingering questions about the comprehensive plan. Otherwise, we'll move it forward next meeting for adoption.
Thank you. All right. I did take a look at it a little bit, and feel good about it. Nothing glaring that jumped out. I know Commissioner Denny had a conversation about it. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I know, like I said, we took time with it at planning and zoning and last 2 months, or last 2 meeting times here, and so I feel like we got something pretty solid, so.
Mr.
Barb, you
Chair,
had some stuff last time. Did you
Yeah,
get
I
more?
did.
Any more?
Okay, on the first page, and I don't know if it was changed or not, but it said city staff.
I got that noted also.
Okay.
Yep. I noticed that also.
It should say county.
Yep, it should. Yep. So I'm sure they'll do like a word search and just confirm that all those city county.
Okay.
If there was, yeah, I
Okay.
caught that also. Yeah.
You know, and the other one I have is on page 12, and it's number 3. And I believe Randy and Denise and myself was at the meeting when we discussed this, as a matter of fact. It says, improve financial transparency through increased public understanding of county investments. I think that we as a county do a very good job of informing the public. I think it's somehow we've got to reword that to say, hoping the public will come to the meetings that the county sponsors. We got our, what are they called, TNT and equalization meetings, that all of this is explained. Every year, we go through all our financials and everything. No one comes to them.
So basically, you're saying improve attendance in the counties
Improve the attendance
and counties' transparency of financials.
for financial, because we put it out.
Yeah.
We just don't have anybody coming to those
Oh,
meetings.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I did attend that comprehensive plan meeting, and I
Yeah.
gave them a whole presentation on it, because the first time it was presented, I did read it as well. And I brought all the notes to them, and they did say that they would change that. So to me, they did not change it, even though I gave a full presentation of what my office sends out, presents. You know, we do the fall TNT meetings, which is the time that the public can come in, ask all the budget questions, because that's what, it's called Truth and Taxation, but it basically is discussion on county budgets and finances. And like Commissioner Becker said, some years we get a couple bad years when market values go up.
Yeah.
We get a house full, but I think that line should have read, and the way I understood it when we left that meeting that night, that they weren't going to emphasize on improving transparency because Todd County does an excellent job. It's just, because they could also attend the meeting when the CLA or auditors present. They do a whole presentation. That's on our website. They can go look up. That was another thing I brought up at that meeting. Our website has a lot of information, lists all of our budgets, all of our audits. And so I was kind of shocked to see that it stayed the same way, because that committee that night assured me that they would change the wording on that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to give that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember you were at that meeting that night, and the concept of really all of these goals and actions were publicly driven. You know, so that's where the idea or the concept of that. And I don't think any of this was intended to say anybody's doing a bad job. I think the goal was to make it easier to see that stuff, you know, so people can access it on a website or whatever it may be.
That's
But there's no
that is
reason to-
correct.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
you
and I
know.
didn't take it that way. I just meant that we are
Yeah.
transparent.
Oh, sure.
Not
yeah.
personally did I take it.
Yeah.
I just meant the county does do a good job.
Yeah, and I think the whole concept of this was just to simplify and make it a lot easier than attending the 2 or 3 or whatever meetings a year or whatever, just made it have it available. But again, we haven't adopted this yet, so those things can still be changed.
I would almost be okay with everything except taking the word improve out of it, you know, put financial transparency to increase public understanding of county investments. And I think that's enough.
Just remove the word
Just-
improve.
Yeah, because I think we definitely do it, but it's to have the public come to our meetings that we do have.
Right.
So instead of improve, we could use the word maintain financial transparency or something
And
along
that would
those
be
lines.
fine too, yeah.
Do we want, for the action item underneath it, do we want to add one about encouraging people to attend things or things of that nature, kind of to the effect of what you said, Commissioner Becker?
And that would probably be good, Adam.
Yep, I can talk with him about that.
Along with that, I would also encourage that they view the website to educate themselves as well. Because our departments do an excellent job all the way around of getting information out on their specific pages.
Okay, noted.
Anyone else?
Got anything, Randy? No. Otherwise, I read the whole plan over also, and, you know, seems to be covering everything, yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, a lot shorter, a lot easier to read than the other one.
That was one of the first goals, was to
Yeah.
shorten it, simplify it, so it's, yeah, easier to walk through.
Okay, guys, everyone, commissioners, I guess we'll let you do your final edits and
Yep.
bring it up.
Okay,
Thanks, Adam.
And you know what? You're up again.
Excellent.
Agenda item 3.
okay.
Keep the seat warm.
Yeah, we need to make some amendments to our existing buffer ordinance. This was just, I think it was early last week, these were sent over to us. We anticipated them coming. But the goal here would likely be to just adopt the, model ordinance that the state has put together. You can see in this first section on the introductory page, you might have to go back one page. Yeah, in that background, that just describes that there are changes to the administrative penalty order amounts and process. So just to stay compliant with the state standards, we'll have to make some amendments to ours, which I think the easiest route is just to adopt their model ordinance that was provided to us. That's why I'm here today, because just following our internal process, that ordinance amendments start at a work session here. So we'll get this on an upcoming agenda, but wanted to just make sure everybody is aware and provide opportunity for any comments first. If not, we will proceed as we normally would with these type of ordinance amendments. It should not be substantial, and we have something to work off already.
Okay, a lot of head shaking, yep. Go for it.
All right, easy enough. That was all. Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Enjoy the break from the heat. Agenda item 4 in our work session will be update from TWCC. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Morning.
Thank you for this opportunity just to present an update on our agency and what we're proceeding with. As you may remember, I'm the interim director, not full-time. So as our executive board decided to take a look at kind of a large picture of our agency in order to kind of guide a plan to move forward with the agency. So a consultant was hired with kind of 3 main deliverables. The first would be taking a look at some strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and so forth internally, kind of a SWOT analysis, if you will, with business terminology, yet with an evidence-based lens. So we want to take a look at some of the principles of effective intervention, how are we doing within an agency, and how we're doing things. So we expect to find some areas that we're really strong at and some areas that maybe that there's room for improvement. That would give a roadmap as well on how we can move forward as an agency. Another deliverable is taking a look at our current joint powers agreement. There's different joint powers agreements out there, and perhaps there's an arrangement that is more advantageous, either fiscally or programmatically, and how it's structured. And so the consultant is taking a look at different JPA structures to make sure that Todd Wadena Community Corrections is operating in the best way possible. And then the third deliverable is just taking a look at, does it make sense to look at a larger JPA to include other areas such as Otter Tail County? Would it make sense to include Otter Tail County in a JPA if all three counties are in agreement? And so the consultant is taking a look at, again, those fiscal and programmatic considerations across a larger spectrum, and we'll be reporting back on that as well. And so the process that he's undertaking is, he is, and the consultant, is conducting focus group meetings. So those were conducted in all three counties, meeting with staff of various internal stakeholders such as judges, some of our advisory board members, some of our partners in like human service and so forth. He met directly with them as well as our own staff within our agency, trying to see kind of some feedback on what we're doing well, where can we improve, some of their own thoughts. The next step would be we're going to start reaching out to other stakeholders, both internal and external, to see how are we doing. And he'll be putting a report together, expected to be completed in October. And that will start the discussion on how we move forward as an agency. Some of the feedback on the focus group meetings, specifically for Todd County, there was areas of improvement noted. And so we're definitely taking note of that. That was shared at our advisory board, or advisory committee. So the consultant has his own smaller advisory committee, just making sure that we're connecting with the right stakeholders and so forth. And so he shared that Todd County does have some areas of improvement, and that was noted and that was shared as well, just as a heads up before the full report comes out. And so those are some areas that we're taking a look at as well, sooner than later, addressing some of those concerns, just so we can start addressing some of those concerns noted. But otherwise, as an agency, we continue to function, we continue to move forward. We have some experienced staff, especially here in Todd County. We have staff with many years of experience. And so I just wanted to provide that opportunity. If there's any feedback, any concerns, any questions, or anything that you think you would want me to bring forward as part of this consultant work, I'm definitely open to that.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Randy.
I got a question, Mike, for you. Todd County's office structure, okay, you come down 2 times a week?
I am in Todd County approximately 1 time a week.
Okay, so 1 time a week. So otherwise, who is in charge of the office in Todd County, or who is the go-to person in Todd County when you're not here?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner, I'm always available. I'm available by phone, by email, by text. We also have a supervisor within our agency, Deja Carr. She's always available as well. She is office most frequently in the Wadena office, but she does spend time in the Staples office, and she does spend time here in Long Prairie as well. And she's always available by phone and email, text as well if she's not physically present.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other thing before we get into the thick? No, I think one of the things, and maybe this will be at later too, but we've already talked a little bit about it, for the ask of having more of a local presence. That was my concern when I think we met last time, is that I didn't feel like we had a local presence, and it being the percentage of this whole thing with Todd Wadena doesn't seem to me to fit what we're looking for with, like, we have great programming, we have STS, we don't have, what's the court called? Drug court? Drug court. But I feel like there's something missing here locally. Like, and maybe that's where Randy's discussion was too, as, our Todd County taxpayers getting what, you know, what we're paying for. Obviously, we have effective programming. That was, what I heard was our STS and our programming was what set us apart. So, you know, since we haven't had a lot of local representation, but just here in this area, I feel like there's something missing for the staff. Now, I have ventured out and I spoke to a few different folks, and, you know, everybody can't be everywhere all the time, but as the majority owner or partner in this whole program, I feel slighted. Also, my other concern is that, you know, the ask this year in the budget is, you know, let me make sure I get it right. We've always just taken that extra money from the reserve to pay for if we have 4 out-of-home placements or 6 or 10 or 12, whatever the number is. And it really wasn't budgeted, and the finance committee is having to look at how we do stuff, what we levy. Nobody wants to levy for something that may happen. And so, you know, that's why I asked Jackie and Caitlin to be here, because a $400,000 levy is, for our portion of the 60-40 split, is, I mean, I don't see it. And maybe I'm, you know, if anything I've said is obviously, you know, off kilter, please feel free to correct me or enlighten me or whatever, but, you know.
Do you mind if I respond?
I'm
Mr. Chair?
asking you to respond, yes.
Okay. And I guess, again, we're open to what is best for how Todd County wants to move forward with this. If we want to levy a lower amount, we're definitely okay with that, with the understanding that if our out-of-home placement exceeds that, we'll be coming back asking how we would want to pay for that. If you want to take it out of fund balance, whose fund balance, what does that look like? Or if we want to start with that $400,000, which is what we asked, and if we don't spend all of that, which is the goal, the goal is to spend as little and place as few of our youth out of home as possible, right? We want to leverage the resources that we have in the community before we have to look at an out-of-home placement. But if their money is unspent, we would carry that forward. So although next year we would be budgeting without knowing how much we would have left over, but in 2 years, we would be able to ask for less. And I know the financial picture within the state is not favorable over the next few years. So, you know, we're open if you want us to ask for less, understanding that we may have to come back and ask for more out of fund balance, or if we want to start with a little bit more this year, understanding that hopefully in a couple years we'll be asking for less. I'm open to whatever this board thinks would be the best.
Okay. If I can chime in, I think at our last meeting, we as a board, Community Corrections Board, decided that Wadena would take care of their out-of-home placement, Todd would take care of their out-of-home placements, and that fund would not be combined between Todd and Wadena County.
That is correct, Commissioner.
That's correct. So whatever is spent in Todd or put in from Todd will stay within Todd. Whatever's put in Wadena will stay in Wadena. It will not be that 60-40 split.
That is correct, Commissioner. The money
Yeah.
for out-of-home placement will be kept separate within the 2 counties, and then whatever children are placed out of that agency would come out of their own individual funds. And then any leftover funds would be carried forward.
Be carried forward for each county.
Correct.
Yeah, I think part of the other thing is with Deja and yourself and talking with the commissioners from Todd County, is that 60-40 split. And at that meeting, we heard Deja was still had a workload going on in Wadena County, and we're not getting the leadership we need in Todd County. I think we need her not to carry a workload in Wadena County, but need her to be a supervisor, 60% in Todd County. If I'm
That's
stating
kinda-
that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's, I don't know,
I
I don't
think
know
that's-
workloads and like that.
yeah.
I'm just saying that for,
But, I mean, she is our, basically, leadership for Todd Wadena right now. And her leadership role should be in leadership and not in carrying a caseload.
Yeah, that's good feedback, Commissioner. You know, historically, as we know, our agency has had a full-time director for a long time.
Yes.
And she was officed here 100% of the time. And we had when the executive board decided to move forward with a supervisor, we understood that that was kind of a part-time supervisor, part-time caseload. Because having an agency with a full-time director and a full-time supervisor probably wasn't fiscally responsible. And so the executive board made that right decision. In my opinion, it was the right decision to have that part-time supervisor. Now that we don't have that full-time director presence, we still have that part-time supervisor. So then offloading some of those cases would tilt the balance, and our agent caseloads would get significantly higher, which is, you know, I guess a decision that if our executive board wants that to go that way, we'll definitely support it, and we can do that, and then that would provide that our supervisor with more time to be here in Todd County. I mean, we could do that as well.
what's the TWCC board saying about, like, I think eventually name a director then? Or, I mean, do we need a director? Do we need more boots on the ground? I mean,
When we come through with the dates, I was in October, right, when the information is supposed to come out?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Yeah, at that time, the decision will be made which direction each county and where TCC will, because it's going to have to go through TCC board, and then it's got to go through Wadena board and this board, whatever decision is made moving forward. Yeah.
So, Mr. Chair, it goes back to my question that I'd asked Mike earlier. Who's the office manager in Todd County? I mean, is there anybody in the office right now that, if I walked up to the window, would be the go-to person? Besides yourself, because you're not here, so if there's a question, is there that point person in Todd County right now that I could go to?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner, we have, right now, besides myself and Megan, we do have our admin specialist that greets everyone at the door. We have at least one agent in the office as well.
Okay.
thank you. Jackie or Caitlin, you guys got anything to add that isn't us to understand?
I think more of yours is going to be through the financial part of it. Yeah. One other point I'd like to really make is this coming Monday night, we got an advisory board meeting, and we haven't had enough advisory board members there to conduct a meeting for the last, I believe, year, close to a year. And so I would really, really encourage all advisory board members to be there and come, so at least if we need to change anything, we can. Vote new officers in, make adjustments, you know, to the number of advisory board members we need. We can't do anything. We're sitting
Yeah, to Barb,
unable to move forward.
yeah, when you don't have a quorum, it's hard to move anything. And that's not our executive committee, that's the
The advisory board.
advisory board, which includes a
Yes.
lot more people.
And there's,
One that I'm on now?
no, it would be, I believe
Okay, I
Jackie's
made the last
on
meeting,
it.
come on.
Yeah. And I think
How many
Mike,
committees,
you,
how many boards are there? 4 boards, 5 boards? What are we?
A
no,
lot, yes.
yeah.
So let me back up. I want to ask, so going forward, out-of-home placement is going to be basically each county's responsibility. I mean, what the flag for me was, I keep seeing these warrant reports, right? And I'm seeing tens, if not 20 or 30, $40,000 sometimes come through. Todd County had 4 or 5 out-of-home placements last year, which cost us, anybody know back there? Yeah. $800,000. So we're levying, so we're gonna I mean, yeah, 25, right? Okay, so I understand why out-on placements are crazy. There's not as many out there. There's, the ones in state probably are full. They gotta send them to wherever. I read up all, last night I was looking at it, I'm like, okay, everybody's facing the same thing, I get it. So either we, so it's all driven by the, a lot of mental health things, a lot of sexual things that happen in homes and things like that. So how do we drive that, make it so that doesn't happen to these families and people and children? And how do we get the cost under control? And, that's really tough. It's not, this isn't like, putting a puzzle together. There's a lot of missing pieces, so. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I have one question. I just want to clarify. So you said there's one, how many agents do you have for Todd County?
Mr. Chair, for Todd County, we would have, we have 4 agents officed here full-time. We have 2 agents officed in Staples full-time, plus we have 2 agents that split their time between the 2 counties.
Okay, so they're out of the 4 that's supposed to be in Todd County, you only have 1 here during the day. What are the other ones? Are they remote? Are they working someplace else? Or?
Mr. Chair, we have multiple places they could be. They could be doing placement visits. They could be doing home visits. So whenever we do home visits, because of the nature of the business, we require that agents go out in pairs now. For safety reasons, we want to ensure that the safety of our staff is there. And so when 1 agent goes and does home visits, that means 2 agents are doing home visits. So that takes 2 agents out of the office when we have 4 to start with. We have vacations, we have leave activity, we do allow some remote work as well. We could be attending some of the programming that we offer. So we offer decision points programming, moving on programming, domestic violence programming that our agents facilitate as well. And so we could be in Eagle Bend, we could be in Staples, we could be in Wadena facilitating some of that programming, which is shown to reduce recidivism, which is something that our agency is actually very strong in. We're very strong in offering the programming that reduces recidivism. So that's something that I think we should all be proud of as well. And so there's a lot of reasons that we may not be physically in the office during the day, during the business hours. So.
Thank you for clarifying that. I was just curious.
We're,
when you said there's only 1 here, I was like, I thought we had more than 1.
And we have a very active community concern for youth program where we're engaged in gardening and teaching life skills to some of our youth as well. And so that agent is out working with the kids a little more hands-on and sometimes partnering with one of the other agents, either in the Staples office or the Wadena office to bring the kids together. So many different things that we could be doing besides sitting behind the desk, which I know that's the perception of what probation is, that we sit behind the desk, we check boxes. Did they do this? Did they do that? But the reality is that that's not what reduces recidivism. The research is clear. We need to be where the people are. We need to be in the community, see where they are in their home. We learn a lot about people in their home. And so I'm actually proud of the fact our agents are in the field quite a bit and that they're doing the good work. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's an ebb and flow of placements, and we hate removing kids from their home. To me, that should be the least restrictive option. We know kids struggle. We know home environments are not always the most stable either, and so kids are products of their environment at some time. But yet at the same time, that's still mom, that's still dad. And if we can keep them home and help them learn how to live in the community, we may see some continued criminality, some property crime and so forth as well, which we need to reduce. But if we can help them learn how to live in the community crime-free and set healthy boundaries and become healthy adults, we can reduce some of that dependence on jail and prison as they get older too, and then their children become healthier, right? So, I mean, it's all cyclical. How do we break that cycle? And Mr. Chair, you're asking the question, and I'm glad you didn't ask me to answer that because I don't have the answer, but I know we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to do the best we can to reduce that recidivism and help families become more whole. And that's where I've met with Ms. Ock here and some of her staff as well. And how can we work more integrated and more upstream to prevent those deep end placements?
She's gonna join you.
I said her name and she showed up. Look at that. So I think that's kind of the key to some of that too, is how our agencies can work more closely together, how we can work more closely together with law enforcement, how we can make sure that we're all more of a system and being more integrated versus just working in our silos and kind of bouncing families or kids back and forth. How do we work more closely together? And I know our agencies communicate and they collaborate, but I think there's strategies that we can work on moving forward that can really bridge some of that and as we continue to strive to be better. I know that's all of our goal.
So this is, I often speak on that return on investment. And I know I talk a lot about that, but that's really that upfront investment that it's hard, it's a double-edged sword. It's hard to know what families have we made a difference with in their youth, in their adulthood. But the more that we can invest when they are in utero, infants, toddlers, adolescents, and with families and parents, that's what makes the difference. But it's hard to measure that because we don't know how many families we've really kept out of placement. So it's that upfront investment with the upstream approach that makes the difference.
Okay, commissioners? Good?
No, I'm good, yeah.
Okay. Everybody seems to be good. Well, thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work. We're thankful for that. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike, appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Jackie.
That's it, huh?
Does that conclude finance too, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, we're gonna just
Okay.
roll.